Hey everybody, it's David R. Becker here with BeckerArt, and I'm here in Duluth, Minnesota, and I am going to do a little plein air scene. I'm up here on Enger Tower, near Enger Tower on Skyline Parkway, and I'm going to do a shot, and let me just show you really quickly the shot that I'm going to be painting. And hold on one second here. It's this shot right here. It's just about to rain, and so I want to get this, had it drawn up. I just got it drawn up, and if you look, this is Duluth right down here. There's the bridge, you can see it close up, and then you go around here, and this is all of Duluth. We're up on top of Enger Skyline Parkway here, and we're going to try to do this scene where we're just looking straight up at the bridge that you come over when you come into Duluth. And there's a bunch of construction going on right now, but we're going to see if we can't paint this for you guys and show you how to do a scene from far distances. And so let me just put this in here real quickly. And so here's my painting. This is a drawing, and so we'll just show you how to do this. It's a little overcast. It was sunny when I started a little bit. There was still the sun breaking through here and there. It's not right now, and it's about to start raining, but I figure I'm underneath my back of my van. I'm underneath there, so even if it does rain, I'm still gonna finish this baby. So just focus in a little bit on this. And so again, you can see it's overcast, and I'm going to just make the sky and the water in the background, my lights, and as it comes forward, it's going to get darker and darker as it comes forward, and so that will give me the nice composition. And the bridge right here in this area right here is going to be where I do my center of interest, and it's going to be pretty much aerial perspective, or I like to call it atmospheric perspective, because the clouds and the rain are covering what's way back there. And so we're going to make that soft edge, and we're just going to make that from light to dark, and again I'll put a little contrast in this area, and we'll see how it goes. And so let's just start up by wetting the whole surface, the sky, because the sky is going to be nice and light. And so I'm going to sit there and wet the whole area. And I'm going to use some blues and grays, because it is a gray day out, and it's about, like I said, it's about to rain. It's a little windy, but I think we can make it happen. And let me just get some paper towel here. Sorry guys, black me for a second. Get some paper towel here. And so what I'm going to do is try to kind of get the sun poking through. At times it pokes through. It is, kind of a weird sky with clouds, and it breaks every once in a while, and it's going fast. So we're going to get a little bit of, I'm going to take a little bit of blue, take my ultramarine blue, make it thick, and I'm going to gray it up. You can gray it up with a orange, because that's what, that's how you gray a blue, is with its complement. So I'm going to put a little gray in here. I'm just going to go back here, get a little light blue in there too, and I'm going to make it thick enough that I'm going to make it the undersides of the clouds. And I know it looks kind of almost too blue, but it will gray down a little bit as I go along here. It's going to gray down, and it also gets lighter than it is when I first put it on. And so I'm just going to go in here, make a nice grayish blue. And a lot of times on your palette, if your palette is dirty, that's good enough, actually, sometimes, just to get the colors from inside your palette. And so I'm just going to go across here. And again, when the surface is wet, don't worry about getting a soft edge. You don't have to blend it, because it blends itself. So I'm just going to blend it here, just let it blend itself. And as it goes down to the land, I'm going to get that a little bit darker there. Just get some more of the gray down blue. That's a little bit too green. I used a little bit too much green in that one, so I'm going to take a little bit more of the red, make it more violet, the blue. So, and I'm going to spray it because it's starting to get a little dry, so I'm using one of my sprayer bottles, and I'm just going to spray it real lightly. And actually the rain will probably do that in a little bit. I mean, it's coming by, and so it'll probably rain a little bit, but not really head downpour. So I'm just going to kind of put this in here. And then also, I'm going to use white in some of the clouds up here, only because I can. And it makes it look kind of like, an overcast sky like this where it's about to rain. It's nice to have a little bit of the white. Makes it look more pastel-like. And then we can get that in there. And the sky is really interesting in the fact that it is really overcast and it's kind of like about to rain, and so you can even put a little bit of water and let it look like it's actually raining. If you put water in here, it'll drip downwards and it'll give the look of like it's raining, basically. See, if I put some of this dark in there, it'll just kind of go downwards and it'll run down like it is actually raining. You can help it along a little bit by, see how it's coming down now. It's just kind of squeezing down. Then I'm going to keep on wetting. I didn't wet the whole paper, I just wet it as I went along here. I make it a little bit lighter in this corner, put some white in there. And actually now it's dripping on there. I can feel the rain is coming down here a little bit, so I'm going to get little dots in the sky, which will be fine. Makes it all part of the experience too when you're out plein air painting. Get a little bit of experience in there and get a little bit of storytelling in there. The fact that, look at it, it's raining, and it'll help you out, you're painting out a little bit. And let's get a little bit more water in here. I'm going to spray this side, let it rain down here too. But you can see the little dots coming from the rain. It's not raining hard, it's just drizzling here and there. And so the wind's coming in this direction, so it's going to hit it once in a while, but that's okay. I think that'd be kind of cool and fun. Take a little bit of violet and blue here, and I'm going to do the background land now, which is like over there. I think it's Bayfield and over in that area. That's actually Superior on the other side of the bridge, Superior, Wisconsin. And so now I'm just going to put the land way in the distance. I'll put a little green in there too, because it's green, a lot of green but blue from the sky. And then these are the little buildings right here. And it's a lot of atmosphere happening back there, so I can make it nice and dark, being way in the distance. And so we're just going to leave little spots here for like the buildings and such. And as we come forward, like I said, we're going to get darker and darker as we come forward. So we want to make it a beautiful scene, and the fact that it is kind of atmospheric. And it's not bright sunny day, it's not bright sunshine and stuff like that, but I want to kind of make it look like what it is. It's really kind of like it's about to rain, and there's some parts raining actually, and the water is light, so I'm going to wet the water right now. I'm just going to make it go in here, wet the water. And to do a big scene like this where you're covering like miles and miles, you'd still think of the big lights and darks. You don't go and try to do every little piece in there to make every little piece very detailed. No, you look for the big value pattern, the big pattern of light and dark. And that's with every painting I do. I always do that, start out with your big values of light and dark. I'm going to make this a little bit darker in here and let it run down again. And it's going to look like it's snowing in here because I keep on getting the rain hitting it. And so that's going to be interesting. That's going to be kind of cool. I kind of like that. So we're going to leave it. We're going to leave it with the rain, out in the rain here. Let's see what we can do with that. Here now is some of the buildings, and I'll put some of those building warmer. And they're reflecting into the water here. Actually, they aren't reflecting in the water, so I'm going to try to take that out a little bit. Well, it'll make it look like rain. Come on, stop it already. Look at all the dots I have in there. Here, I can get some of them away. Things you experience. It's pretty fun when you're experiencing out plein air. And I don't have an umbrella. I guess I could put an umbrella right here, block it, but I don't want to do that. It's part of the fun. Now, as I come forward, like I said, I'm going to get a little bit this on the front. Let me put some light greens up here, because in the front here we're going to go with the bright greens. I mean, we get all this foliage up here, so I'm going to put a little bit of this light green in there. Not sure how many of you are watching, but thanks a lot if you are watching. Middle of the day, I didn't announce it or anything like that. I just wanted to put it, and it'll be up there so other people can watch. And so I'm just going to go in here, get some of the light green, go back into this area where the land way in the distance. And I'm going to break it up and make it hard edged because I just want that to look like it's way back there. And the water, basically, I just put a light tint of blue in there, and that's going to be enough. I don't think I need to do much more than that. Going in here. I'm kind of using my paper as almost like a palette. I don't sit there and try to mix on my palette as much as I'm just going to go right onto my paper and just let some of it mix in there. This goes right into the green. There's grasses down here, and I'll get the really dark greens later on, but right now we're just going with the little bit darker a green, or the little bit lighter a green, and then we'll go in with the dark greens afterwards. You can also tell it's a little windy, and so I'm not sure if you can hear that, how windy it is, but green along the highway here. This is going to be a little green, a little bit greener as it goes back. We make far distance, you know. We wanted to show distance, and this is what's that called? Park something. Park Island? No, I forgot what that's called. It's the stretch that goes out there, and this is the lift bridge. Well, actually, the lift bridge is over here. You don't see the lift bridge. These are just factories and grain silos, and I think whatever they put in there, coal, or there's just silos of something in there. And so I'm going to go with that right now because I'm working my way forward. Again, doing the big parts, and some of those big parts mean that I just got to do a building, a gray building, or there's a bunch of buildings back here. And they go from light to dark, and I'm not going to, I won't be able to draw every single one of those. So I just go back and forth and make little rectangle shapes, and that will hopefully make it look like there's a bunch of buildings back there. And then Park Island, is it? No, I gotta look at my thing. Put this back here. Just gonna put that back there, and then make the island come back here and sticks out a little bit. That's actually, I think that's a little island that goes out there. And there's a little island that goes around there, or maybe a peninsula that sticks out. Put that in there. Wow, look at that sky. Nice and dotty. Oh well. I'll make it that much more fun to look at. Conversation piece. So I'm just getting darker and darker as I go along. And then the grays, I just mix, the complements together. And a lot of times orange and blue make a complements, so they mix a kind of a gray. Start out with blue, and I actually don't have any gray in here, but also lavender is always a good color to put in. And make some nice grays. It's kind of a greenish gray right there. Maybe a little more blue, a little bit warm it up with a red. Now it's a little bit more purple, so now I can go in here and get this silo. Let me go with my bigger brush, or my smaller brush. This is starting to get too big for the small things. Let's go in here with a smaller brush. Gonna get this silo in here. And there's like a yellow silo right next to it, so we can get that. And there's some blue. There's a blue building right behind this, and so I'm just gonna, again, very, very undetailed, very loose, and just to kind of show that what's happening is a bunch of buildings and a bunch of stuff is there. I mean, I'm not doing this photographically where you're seeing every single thing. As a matter of fact, I changed things around a little bit, and I left some of the buildings out, so it's all just an impression of what this area looks like. And then the ground, there's a bunch of railroad right here, and so We're going to put a bunch of lines in there. Getting darker as I go along. Always getting darker. And still more in my middle tones and my lights. And so you put in those in first. Now these silos over here are a little bit darker. Let's use a little bit of these dark colors. Even a little bit of black. And on the side of this I'm just going to go in here and make some of these silos right into the green. And I'll put the green over it. I'll even put some light green over it. It's kind of like a little light silo. And then there's yellow on top of that silo. Take a little orange and yellow and make it, wash it out with a little bit of white. Make a little pastel. And then just go up here and there's a little bit of this yellow. And then while you have that color, you'll put it elsewhere too. So that not just, and the road itself is kind of yellowish, so I might as well do that right now too. Just put a little bit of white in this yellow, and the actual road, 53 I think it is, it's right through here, and this is where they're going down. This right now is this street, and we're going to take this 53 right through back here. You know, when you're thinking that, you know, it's going to rain and stuff, just do it anyways. Find a cover, shelter, and sometimes you can get, see, the sun just came out. So now the sun's out, and it's going to change everything. But that's the fun part about going out here in the plein air and painting plein air. You learn so much too when it comes to plein air painting and getting out here. You just really you pick up so many things because you see actual objects, you see things how they are. The actual colors things are, and not through a camera, because through the camera it changes the colors and you get all kinds of different effects and things. And so, you know, try plein airing, and even if you don't do a great job, you still learn stuff, because it's just you're seeing and you're looking and you're seeing things the way they should be, or the way they really are. And again, to make it look nice, go for your big lights and darks. Work that first, and then you can get all the little small stuff happening afterwards. All these little things, you know, they all come together at the end. Now the bridge itself, right here, I'm just going to make it a little darker. See, I'm just making things darker as I go along. And I'm not being very picky on the drawing end of it. I did the drawing first, and so I'm kind of going in there, hopefully get enough to make it look like what it is. But it's so far away, you don't have to make everything look perfect. You just want to make the scene look as one. And then we go back here, and then we got the silo back here, which I'm going to make a little bit bluer because it's farther in the distance. So these silos and these little things back here, we're making a little bit darker. And then it just indicates, again, things that are happening over there. And with plein air painting, it should be a quick thing. It's more of a sketching than it is painting a finished piece. You know, try to make it more of a sketching process for you. Don't sit there and think you're going to do like you were doing in the studio when you're. I mean, you got cars going by, you got the wind, you got the rain coming down. You know, there's a lot of things that sometimes make it harder on you to actually do a painting. But this is more like a sketch. It's a sketch that's good. Whoa, the wind just came up really hard here. So it's basically a sketch, you know, and you're making the sketch so that when you go back into your studio and you want to do more of a finished piece of it, like something a little bit more detailed, then you have your idea and you can see what you had done out there, and it gives you a definite it helps you out a lot when it comes to seeing what's really in your camera and what is just, you know, your camera making its own thing up, because sometimes that happens when you have your camera. The lens bends the scene, and so now I have my middle tones and my lights, and so now it's time for darks. And I got pretty much the middle tones and a bunch of stuff back here. It looks like, you know, a far distance scene. That's what you want. And a little bit more. And I'm going to draw the detail for the bridges and stuff. That'll be in the detail stage. We don't do that until we do detail. You know, in detail meaning that your darks probably, or in this case, you're not going to be my darkest darks because it's farther away. you get a lot of cars going by because they have all the construction down below. And so with all the construction down below, everybody's taking different routes to get around Duluth, because it's just their road systems right now are under construction everywhere. So it's a nightmare right now when it comes to Duluth, getting here and going through all this rigmarole. Just make sure you have your GPS, because it'll take you, it'll let you know all the places you can go and you can't go. Alright, so let's take our round brush now, and I'm going to do my darks in the foreground. And I'm going to start out and suggest which is my darkest dark. And so I kind of like the dark to be right here. So what color do I got here? Purple? Purple. Make it a little dark. Black, I think. I'm going to make in here, I'm going to make this area right here a little bit darker and show this is a little bridge. I'm going to establish one darkest dark and then take it from there. This is my center of interest area back here, so I can just kind of establish this a little bit, and so then I know that these are my darkest dark, so regulate everything from your darkest dark. Here's a little railroad bridge. I know that's kind of far away and to get that kind of detail, but I just wanted to get something there so I can kind of just see how dark everything else is going to be. Because then I can regulate it. I can say, okay, that's my center of interest. I want that to be a little bit contrasty so I can see it. And then as I go away from that, and as I come forward, I'm going to make these dark greens. This pine tree, I'm going to make it really nice and dark. It's going to kind of cover up a lot of this area. I'm going to go right into here. Make it nice and vibrant green. It's dark, it is dark. There's no sun on it. It's just a darker pine tree. So I'm just going to put it in here. Just quickly put it in. And this is drawing. I'm drawing the tree, and I didn't really get it well drawn with my pencils, so I'm drawing with my brush now. And I'm just going to put in, again a suggestion of this tree. It's not a photographic image of this. I can get a little bit lighter yellow in there too. I can use my brush trick where I take my brush and I poke it upwards. And I use the back bristles, and if you're ever in my classes, I'll show you how to do that. Learn how to use your brushes, because your brushes can do a lot of different things that you don't have instructions, but you need to practice with them and see what they can do. So yeah, that's a little bit darker. Comes forward, and I'm going to make these things come forward, do a little negative painting. So this will go from a dark to the light image right below that. So I'm going to make some a little bit more yellow in this area. Lighten up the colors too, because it's farther forward. And then this being dark and this being dark, that'll be the second thing you look at. So it all works. And then over here, I'm just going to let this bleed a little bit, and I don't need to show too much information there. There are these little white flowers you can see. I don't know if you can see the white flowers. See on the side here, there's white flowers. Those I'm going to put in after I put a dark in there. I'll put them in afterwards too. So I'll put a little dark flowers in there on top of this dark, and here's a silos way in the distance, and so I can kind of make that just a little darker, but also out of focus. I don't want to see all what's there, just enough to see that this is foliage in the front, and in the back there's some objects. And then I'll put the little white flowers in there. Look at my sky. It's all actually, the sun's on it now. And okay, the sun's off of it now because I tilted it down for it a little bit. Because you never want to paint with your painting in the sun. I think I just did a thing with that. And see, the sun is poking through now. And so see how it changes? Things change. And but I can't go and switch what I was started. You can't follow the sun and try to chase what the light is. The lighting, you can't chase it. You got to figure out what it is in the beginning and stick with that light pattern. You can't all of a sudden change up and go, okay, now it's all sunny, let's make it sunny scene. No, that doesn't work that way. You can't. You can just take a shot of it and then maybe do it another time. So here I'm just going to kind of go across here, put another, let's get some more dark blue, some more dark blue, green for this pine tree right here. I'm just going to put a pine tree. Again, bringing things up forward because that's the way it was, even though with the sun going. And it's going to go away in a second anyways. Again, because there's a lot of clouds coming through. I was going to actually go golfing today, and it was a little bit too windy and rainy. And then I was going to go to the driving range, and then I realized I forgot the things back in the place where I'm staying. My clubs were back at where I'm staying. I'm like, darn it. So maybe later on we'll go back again and get them. So here we got some foliage in front. See how it brings it forward, and then that's far behind for far distance, and then put a couple more interesting things. The cars, the rail cars that are down there. I can just put little cars in there, rail cars. Buildings, streets. A little bit more of the foliage in here again. As you notice, I'm working with my sun on my palette, which is again is a no-no. Don't paint, but there's nothing I can do right now because I started when it was overcast, and now it's starting to get a little sunny. So I have to keep it going. I can't stop now. So we're getting close to where we're going to put in the details, and then we'll be done. Again, it's a short sketch type of thing. You know, a lot of times I like going out and just doing a little sketching. It's not so much a finished work of art that you know, it's more of a plein-air sketch, just to get an idea of what the area looks like. And that way it takes it back. It's almost like if it was in my sketchbook. Though it's not in my sketchbook, it is actually on a sheet of paper. But a lot of artists take their sketchbook with and then just paint it in their sketchbook. It's kind of like what I'm doing too. It's just that I'm using a big sheet of paper. And that way also you can see it and demonstrating too. Alright, so now detail time. Detail and the bridge back there. Look how lit up it is right now. It'd be like negative painting it right now because it'd be kind of neat to put it in there. So I'll take a picture of it when I get done. And so I'm going to make the bridge dark instead of light like it is, only because that's what it was before. So I'm just going to go back here and across the top. There's little cars, little dots for cars. Little buildings back here. Let me put in some white flowers, and then I think we're done, guys. Again, just a fun little sketching here. So I'm putting little flowers in the front, and it's still wet, so they'll just be these little dashes of white. And this you could do, I guess, with masking fluid and putting it on there. But you know, again, this is a sketch, and I'm going to use opaques on it. And so here I'm putting these little white flowers in there, little dots of white. Go, little dots here and there. How is this looking for? Is it too much in the dark now because of the sun? Of course, right now, right above me is absolutely no clouds at all. Can you imagine that? But I never thought that would happen. All right, so I think that's pretty much it, guys. Let me take the tape off and take a look at it, and you're going to take a look at it without the sun. Let's put it over here. So there we have it. We have a nice little arrangement of the Duluth from Enger Tower, near Enger Tower. Enger Tower is a little bit higher up, but I'm on the Skyline Parkway. And let me take the tape off, and you'll see what it looks like without the tape. 1 second. And for all of you that are new here that have never seen me paint, on my website you can find I do a paint along every Thursday night, and I'll be doing it here in Duluth this Thursday. and I'm gonna do a paint along where we're all, this week it's a giraffe, and we're gonna learn how to do stencils. And so there we have it, and that's at 6:30 Central Standard Time, and we do that every Thursday. And if you want to see what we're painting, you go to my website at davidartbecker.com or beckerart.net and see what we're painting. So there you go, guys. I hope you had a little fun. It was a very fast little sketch of Duluth, Minnesota, and it started with the rain, and that's coming to all the dots. Can you see all the dots in the corner in the painting? See all those dots? That was rain that was coming down on the picture, and so that's the way it was. All right, thanks, Doc, for stopping by, guys. And also go to I'm going to put this on my YouTube channel. If you can subscribe to my YouTube channel, that'd be great. And look at how different it changed. Now we have all this beautiful sun, and before we had all these clouds, and now we have nice beautiful sky. Within how long did it take me to do this? About half an hour. So see, things can change really quickly. All right, so until next time, we'll see you guys later. All right, bye bye.